Hi everyone, I'm Benjamin Bryant from Bryant McKinnon Lawyers, and this is Heather McKinnon from Bryant McKinnon Lawyers. Hello Heather.
Hello Ben.
We are sitting here in our office today to launch our latest episode of the podcast, The Family Matters Show. This one being on independent children's lawyers, which was a great show. We spoke to Gabrielle Cantrall, who is the solicitor in charge of family law at LegalAid New South Wales, and Gabrielle gave us some great information and some great insight into independent children's lawyers, when they're appointed, how they're appointed, why they're appointed. Heather, we discussed some pretty good things. When is an ICL appointed?
So we chatted about the cases that require an independent children's lawyer, and they're cases where there's violence in the household, mental illness, drug abuse, long-standing conflict. So in the show it was excellent because we were able to tell parents when you might have one of these special people appointed to your case.
And I thought, Heather, it was great because one of the reasons why an ICL is appointed, a separate representation for the children especially, is when there's children with voices. And Gabrielle was talking about, voice, not a choice, which I thought was fantastic. It's a great way to put it because as ICLs, we don't take instructions like we normally would from parents. I thought that was great. Yeah,
really good show to really dig down and show people why kids don't necessarily get their own way. You don't let a kid go into Woolies and buy 27 Mars bars because they want it. So the show really gets to the subtlety of the difference between what a child says and what's best for a child.
That's right. A great example that we hear all the time is when parents say, well, my child doesn't want to do that, doesn't want to do the extra night, or doesn't want to be picked up on Thursdays or something like that. And the response is, well, what if they don't want to go to school? Do you know what I mean? Do we just blindly listen to that as well? So it was a great discussion. I really enjoyed it. Heather, what is the role of an ICL? We discussed that as well.
Yeah, the role's what I call forensic. We gather information. So in the show you hear about our ways of getting information about the child from schools, from doctors, from psychologists, and getting a broad picture of what the child's life's like. And we explain in the show how the gathering of that information is really important to help the judge make a decision about children.
Because it's there's several parts, but the main parts, of course, like you said, is that forensic exercise, getting all the information before the court, and also to the parties as well, but mainly to the court, but also acting as that honest broker. Do you mean trying to get the timely resolution of the matters? Because even though when we're appointed as independent children's lawyers, you're at the pointy end. Do you know what I mean? You've got some pretty significant or nasty, let's say, cases. And sometimes you do, once you get the more information and hopefully, parents and getting greater insight into the situation, it still might be resolvable. We don't always need the judge at the end of the day to make a decision. We just need to get the right information. So a big part of our role is acting as that honest broker.
And as you said, Ben, what the research shows is the worst thing for children is if their parents are in conflict. So we know the best thing we can do is stop the conflict because the kids will then breathe a sigh of relief. Yeah. So always that's at the back of our mind.
Yeah. And finally, Heather, we finished the show with Gabrielle just talking about, when we say goodbye to children and what our role is then, do you know what I mean? Because we have obviously an active role during the case, but it's really important because we've met these children and we've been involved with them for a pretty significant period of their lives with a lot of things going on. So we talk about how we walk away, how we step away from our role as independent children's lawyers and what that can be for for children as well, which I thought was great. All right, I think that's a pretty good wrap-up of our show. This is the latest episode of the Family Matters Show podcast about independent children's lawyers, so make sure you check that out at bryantmckinnon.com.au or wherever you get your podcasts. Next month, Heather, we're going to be talking about co-parenting, perhaps the myth of co-parenting or how to do it, successful co-parenting. So make sure you have a look at our episode next month and we'll catch you.